Welcome to the third video of maintaining hopefully a better understanding of what is a one-to-many relationship using Microsoft Access as the engine for a good relational database. What did we do in the previous video? As a quick summary, we added two entity, the manager, which is the one, and we ended also the employee, which is the many. Now, we did actually a weak link by adding the foreign key here, but when we did tell the engine, or the access in this case, that we wanted to have the ability of pulling the manager ID directly from the manager table inside the table employees, it's treating it as a foreign key, but also I wanted to save my time not to enter the data. It was established, I did establish a weak link, but let's go ahead and examine the better link, which is going to look at the relation. Immediately you can see that there is a weak link between the table manager and the table employee. It shows me this is the table manager as the primary key in the table manager, and it's been added here as a manager ID. So it's the same. Also, I was very careful to have the same data type in both of them when I designed the two entities or the two tables. This is the employee's ID, has nothing to do with the relation. This has to do with the fact that there is no two employees will have the same employee's ID, since it's the primary key for that table specifically. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to close those two tables in order to work with the relationship without any problem. And I'm going to click on this link, which is a weak link, and click the right button on it. On the top of it, the right button, and say edit the relationship. Or I could go ahead and delete that completely, and I wanted you to see that I could actually take this primary key and drop it on the foreign key, and it's going to give me the same relationship. I'm going to establish enforcing the referential integrity. That's mean I cannot add a manager, employee, unless the manager ID already been established. In the cascade update related field, it's very important in case you wanted to change the name of the managers or some of the data for that manager. It's going to cascade itself through the many reports that you're going to be using inside the many table. So any changes happens is going to be reflected through the database itself. The same thing if I wanted to delete one of the tables, like one manager deleted, if I wanted to delete all his or her employees, which really not a good idea, of course, but that's possible for a certain type of application where we need to delete the one in the relationship, and as a result is going to delete everything in the many table. I'm going to not check the delete key, but I'm going to check the update, and I'm going to, of course, more than anything else, I wanted to check the referential integrity. One more time, the integrity means everything is going to be tight. There is no data redundancy. There is an establishment between the relationship as one-to-many clearly. See here, one-to-many, and you will see it also graphically as the one here and the many here, and one here in the table manager and the many here. If that is established, which you can see it clearly, then we're going to move on to establish the forms, where it's a better way of allowing the end user or anybody who's going to use our table not to mess up with the anybody who wants to use our database not to mess with our tables. We should never allow somebody from outside the design team in order to come and change our table design. We need to give them a different area where they're going to enter the data without having to do anything with the structure of the database itself. So I'm going to close this, and it's going to ask me to save it, and say I would like to, and establish now the form. The form is going to be based on the fact that there are multiple employees for each manager, so still the thinking that we have established is going to maintain itself as the fact this is the one and this is the many. So I'm going to go to the form wizard directly in the create ribbon and click on the form wizard, and I need to make sure that the manager is going to be on the top. I could move everything in the manager, or I could move them one at a time if I want to. Of course, the second thing is to click on the table employee and move all of them. I don't need really the table employees manager because graphically it's going to establish the relationship, even it's going to enter that directly in the table. As a good reminder that the table is going to, two tables going to be linked graphically now through a form. So whatever happens in the form is going to impact the table, and whatever happens in the tables is going to impact how they're going to be viewed in the form. But I'm going to leave this in order to show you what is going to happen when I do enter a manager ID as a foreign key in the relationship. So I'm going to say next, and here is the good, really good screen to tell us what we need to do. I need to do the manager for multiple employees. So I'm going to put the manager data one time while the employee is going to be repeated. Next, and leave it as it is. Next, and here I must take my time to change this to form FRM manager, and here FRM employee, FRM employee. And here we go, we're going to say here finish it, and in a second we're going to really play with it. So first of all, I could see that there is a thing I might have to scroll down, but in order to fix this I always like to tweak my the wizard result by going to this area and change that to layout the view. It's going to give me better control over how I should be able to control my the look. For example, I could actually squeeze the salary so I could maintain that into the viewable area, even for the name, because I know the first name and the last name are separated from each other, so that gives me actually better room to view it. And notice here what I was talking about, even though I would like to go ahead and add another employee for John Smith, which was Ahmed, with the employee ID as 300, and I could say here Ahmed, and don't remember the last name, it's Muhsen, and he makes $45,000, 45,000 And notice how nice it is immediately, since graphically we link them through the form, immediately it's going to give me the foreign key added. So it knows that really the manager with the A124 with the name John Smith is the one who's managing Ahmed Mohsen. And this is the lower navigation bar. This is the navigation bar for the employee. This is the navigation bar for the manager. And as you notice here, this one here, I just click on it, is going to take me to the very first record, and this is going to take me one record down, and this is one record up. If I wanted to add a new record, which I'm going to go ahead and add one for the manager, if you recall, we have this manager with the, I cannot really do anything about it now because I need to change the view to the form view. I cannot add the data in the one. Also, I could go ahead and do the layout view and change this. This is only for the name that shows here, but I could go ahead and help the user to make sure this is data entry for managers and employees. And I could even spend some time to make it look a lot better than this. For example, I could go ahead and do this. You notice here the format give me the fact that I could make it bold, even different size and different font. As you notice here, even different color if I wanted to. You choose whatever you want. This is a matter of artistic inclination that you probably would like to spend some time. If you're doing it, this is for the reward to discuss how this should look like with your other colleagues. And not to forget, I'm going to go to home, make sure that this is going to be back into the form view in order to enter the data. And this is the second entry, which is F130, and the manager name happens to be Mary Jones, and she works with the department finance, which I already done that. And notice I could go ahead and put her employees right away by putting, if I recall, that Lydia works here. This one here, actually we ended up putting Ahmed in the wrong way. It doesn't matter really, but I know that Ahmed now is going to be, we could have changed it that easily. We know that Linda and Cliff works for John Smith. Mary has two of them, which is Lydia and Ahmed. I could take Ahmed and delete him from going back to the very first. Okay, here we go. I need to say escape here because I'm asking me to enter the data. I don't want to enter the data. Escape, hit escape to allow you to stop entering the data. And I wanted to delete that person here by saying, okay, delete the record. I'm clicking the right buttons and it says yes, delete it, because it's going to go to the table. Now I could go ahead and fix my problem by saying that Ahmed is really working, Cliff is the one who's working for Cliff. And let's see here, this is the piece of data. I have Cliff, Jack, I have Linda, which I don't have it here. Linda, let's go ahead and put Linda 534 here, 534, 534, and Linda Robertson, and she makes $67,899. Okay, let's go ahead and fix her. 67,000, and immediately Linda will be added. I'm glad I made a mistake because this way will show us how easy to correct the problem. I could go back to Mary and I could put directly her two employees. I know is one of them is Lydia, because this is the number here, but I wanted to see what is Lydia's employee's ID, which is 340, and first name is Lydia and last name is Perez, and she makes 78,000, and immediately the foreign key is going to be added. And I know now Ahmed belongs to the other finance department working for Jones, Mary Jones, and his name is Ahmed, and his is MUHEN, and he makes 40,000. 005. And notice now we have both of those managers. As you notice here, if I go, they have their employees. John Smith has 3, and of course Mary Jones has 2. I'm going to stop here. It's going to be a long video. We're going to stop and maintain continue to discuss this in the next videos. Thank you, and hopefully you'll continue to watch with me. Thank you.